Good morning, everyone. So, everyone, I hope in this room has some kind of talent or area where you're exceptionally good in compared to most people. Whether it be, I don't know, stacking cups or playing baseball, something. Everyone has something where they're good at. And my quote is, "He that is good with the hammer tends to think everything is a nail," by Maslow. And I can see that. And that quote basically means that when you're good at something, you tend to think of everything in the terms of what you're good at. And I have some various examples from my life where I could demonstrate that quote. And one of them was skateboarding. I used to skateboard all the time, pretty much every day, and eventually I got good at it. And then when I'd be walking down the street even without my skateboard, I would still see everything in the terms of skateboarding. When I would see a stair set, I'd think of like new ways I could huck myself down it. When I see a bench, I could figure out new ways I could disrupt everyone else around me. And it just kind of made me start thinking in terms of what I could do with what I was good at. And another one is science. Science is a huge passion of mine. And when I go by and like just when I'm driving down my car and I see a boat like in the ocean, most people are just saying, "Oh, hey, it's a boat." But when I see it, I think of all the surface area of the boat and then the buoyancy of the water because of the water's density and how everything relates to each other. And then also same thing with mechanics. When I think of a car, like most people see a car and they just get in and drive it without really giving two thoughts about it. But while I'm driving, I'm thinking about how the chambers are combusting, how the oil is going in and out, the gas is circling through it, and everything's happening inside the car, but most people just take that for granted. But the reason why I think of that so much is because I have a passion for it. Like, I like knowing how stuff works. And so I hope my examples through this could show you how this quote means.
Feeling when you come off the stage is just horrible.
I'll say that.
Yeah, it's just like,
All right, Dean, I thought the opening was fine. I thought you had a good transition to what the topic was and a pretty good interpretation and thesis that goes along with that. There's not really a preview, but you do have a structure that you're going to be talking about, and in the body of the speech, I appreciated that. I think you probably should set that up a little bit at the beginning, and that might also give you a little bit more time to think about each of those points, because it feels like when you get to those points, you go through them very quickly. You've got, you're going to think, everybody does this in the car on the way home later on, you're going to think of more examples to talk about, an experience that would have been a good illustration. You keep it at kind of a superficial level. All of your examples were good, and I like the points that you were making. You just don't say much on each of those points, and there's not, you need to find something interesting about it, you know, like your skateboarding example. If you had a story about one of those times that you planned something, or you had an experience when you were doing the skateboarding, or you're thinking about the mechanics, and you looked at somebody's car one time and suddenly figured out, you know, I know exactly what the problem with that person's car is, and here's how I went and fixed it or took care of it, or something along those lines. Any little detail to kind of make it a story, to make it a little bit more interesting. You're kind of like highlighting the ideas behind the stories without telling us the stories also, and so it feels a little bit thin. Your delivery skills are fine. I think that you look up at the audience for the most part. Your facial expressions are animated, so you look like you're engaged and not having a bad time talking to us, actually having a pretty good time talking to us. But like I said, you do kind of run out of things that you're going to say, and so it does finish up a little bit. And that right at the end, there's maybe a little bit of that, panic expression sort of thing that's going on. Otherwise, you seem pretty, like I said, animated. No obvious anxiety issues. Okay, thank you.